Hi, it's Michelle from Virtual Miss Friday. Here we are, another day, another headband. I wear headbands a lot. I'm in Egypt. It's really hot. And I just like them to keep my hair off my face and everything. Setting that aside, what we're going to talk about today, we're going to go more into Queen VEE because I really want to share this with you because it's it's been so important to my life, okay? So I am someone, for those of you who don't know about this Queen VEE, it's something that I kind of stumbled upon or discovered within myself, I suppose, in a way. I woke up after having this sort of epiphany thing about why things weren't working out for me, and when, you know, like when I'd been really fully into the reality creation stuff for so long, and then something traumatic happened, and it was definitely a go to the next level type of thing that was happening to me, but I didn't realize it at the time. But I do now, and then I woke up realizing that I'm going to talk about techniques in this video. Okay, so we do these techniques. It's all about the I am. It's all about who we're being. We do these techniques like scripting, affirmations, journaling. I do them myself, and I do them regularly, daily, multiple times in a day, because I need that accountability of really looking at my thoughts and looking at who I'm being at the time and seeing if who I'm being is in alignment with the things that I truly want. And sometimes we get lost in being a certain state or being a certain person or thinking about a certain thing and focusing on it to get it, and then we get it and then we slip back. This is one of the things that kept happening to me. I would manifest, get what I wanted, and then I would lose it just as quickly as it came. And I started really questioning that, like, why is that happening? And then I realized it's happening because I step into a different person and then I step out again as soon as I get the thing, and then I'm back to square one. So all the universe can do really at that point is take it away from me because I'm the person who doesn't have it anymore. That's where I sort of had this moment of, this is what's happening to me. I know I need to get out of this, but what do I do? How do I do it? And again, it's about stepping into the person that you're being. And then I was like, well, I'm being that person, then I'm not being that person, so I have to find a way to stay being that person. And then it ended up being more scripting, more journaling, more affirmations, more watching videos constantly to just try and stay in that state. And then I found it a little bit exhausting, to be honest. I was just like, this is actually tiring. And I don't think this is what alignment actually feels like, when you're constantly trying to stay as a person that has it instead of the person that doesn't. And then I woke up to this Queen VEE thing. I've called it a Queen VEE thing because I will tell you, I woke up realizing in order to stay in the state of being this person, I had to almost archetype myself as that person. So I had somebody who I can relate to and say, am I still being that person? And the thing that came to me was a queen. Now, I have no desire to be in the royal family at all. No offense to the royal family. I've always been really a bit anti, oh, be a queen thing. Sorry, this is like really controversial. I'm probably shooting myself in the foot here, but I've always been a bit anti women's empowerment, be the queen. You know, I've always like kind of been a bit, I suppose, in my masculine energy a bit too much. So when I thought about this, you're the queen, it wasn't about like, oh, I'm a queen and I'm going to wear a crown. No, it wasn't about titles. It was about, I'm the queen of my life. And it like clicked and made so much sense to me. And then suddenly I was able to very easily really embody the person and the energy that I needed to be in order to change things. And it shifted immediately. I started immediately thinking about, okay, well, I'm the queen of my life. I'm the queen of my home. This is my castle. I'm the queen of my family. I am the top person in my family in this house. I am the queen of my business, and am I commanding my life as a queen? Am I commanding my relationships as a queen? Am I commanding my business as a queen? And suddenly then everything started to fall into place. It was like this moment where if I just like stepped into this energy of being a queen, I would have it all. And then I started to really think about queenie sort of traits. There's different types of queens. I suppose there's different archetypes of queens, but I didn't want to box myself into one. I kind of took different characteristics and traits of how a queen rules, and then I started to pick and choose the ones that I wanted to have in my life. And it was everything that I wanted to really be. And then I just started saying, like, I'm a queen. Not a queen like I'm royal or I'm better than anyone else or anything like that, but I'm the queen of my life. I command my life. And am I showing up in this situation, this circumstance, this relationship, this business, this home as a queen? And then I just started thinking, like, what would the queen in me do? You know, how would I be looking at the situation? How would I be approaching the situation? And that was the trigger to create the feeling. So the thought created then the feeling, and that feeling then created how I showed up. I just suddenly started showing up and being the person that was commanding my life from my throne, as my queen. It sounds crazy, I know. If somebody had like been talking to me on a YouTube video about become the queen of your life, I would just be like, yeah, right. You know, like, who do you think you are? Literally. But that's what evolvement is all about. It's about discovering things about yourself that weren't there before. And this is where I started saying, oh, this isn't me, but it just suddenly started working for me. So now I'm embracing this. So Queen VEE is about, first of all, becoming the queen of your life and approaching your life as the queen you choose to be. It's taking on the traits of the queen that you choose to be. And I had a whole bunch of traits, like, how would I want to deal with things? How would I want to show up in the world? How, you know, like right from like appearances through to mindset, through to approaches, through to interactions, like everything I was thinking about. And then the next thing, on the next part of this, is then you realize that it's virtual. Now, I've called it Queen VEE, which is virtual energy embodiment. And again, I hate these words, empowerment, embodiment, but there's no other way to describe it. Sadly. But virtual was, for me, it's not just about encompassing how I want to live my life. And yeah, I've been Virtual Miss Friday for 20 years. I do everything pretty much online virtually that I consider a business accomplishment, I suppose. And then the energy is the energy, the queen energy. But it's not just the queen energy, it's the energies that you decide, this is what I'm going to be inside my queen energy. And you make that the queen energy. So you only have this one affirmation that I'm the queen. And you give that queen the different energies, peace, calm, loyalty, abundance. Like you give that queen those things. And then you basically show up. Because you keep saying, I'm the queen of my life. You show up as that person in your life every day, in every interaction, in every situation, and everything that's going on. And oh my God, it's impactful. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go down the queen route. But what I am saying is, whatever you can archetype yourself as, it's going to be so much easier than trying to change yourself. You step into something else. And I was literally trying to change myself and be a different person. And it felt exhausting to just try and be that person, especially after trauma. After trauma, it challenges everything in your life. It challenges how you think. It challenges how you feel. It challenges how you see the world. It challenges how you see your relationships, everything. trauma challenges everything. And I had to see it as, okay, well, this has happened for a reason. Where am I going with this? And honestly, like, it brought me to this point where I realized I'm trying to change myself, and that's exhausting. And I burnt out from it, I think. And then as soon as I had this idea that I'm the queen of my life and I will approach every situation, every interaction, every relationship, everything I need to do in my life as a queen, as the queen I choose to show up as, if I was a queen, which I am a queen of my life. We are all queens of our life and kings of our life for the guys. We show up as that person, and we're not being different. We're taking on a role in our life. And for me, taking on a role in my life made so much more sense than trying to change myself. Because I took on a role, and I've taken on many roles in my life. I'm a mother, I'm a wife. You know, we always take on roles. We naturally do it. I'm a business owner, I'm a boss, I'm a daughter. We naturally take on roles in our life, and we step into them immediately when they're presented to us. The day my child was born, before that, I became a mother, and then I did it 4 more times. I have 5 kids now. But I had to step into that role immediately. And then that's where my mind clicked. I am deciding this is the queen of my life is now my role. And I'm stepping into that immediately right now. And suddenly that was the shift. That's where everything changed. So I'm going to leave it at that, this video. I'm going to share more in other videos about this process. But once you can decide not to change yourself and think, I've got to fix myself and I've got to be a different person, it is about who you're being. But we're always being the roles in our life. We're always being the people that we've, taken on the role as. So all I did was reframe this whole thing of the I am, of Neville Goddard's I am, as stepping into a role in my life. And it was instant. Just like the day my son was born, my first child, it was instant. I was a mum. Just like the day I was born, it was instant. I was a daughter. Just like the day I got married, I was a wife. Just like the day I started my business, I was a business owner. That day. And then you feel into the role. You feed into the role. You take decisions as that role. This is the quickest way to get what you want. I'll start sharing some results in the next videos. But once I stepped into this role, immediately there were changes. And I will share this in another video. Be sure to subscribe, like this video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel so I can share more about what happened once I did this. So take care, I'll see you in the next video.